Hello and welcome to this week's video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Camille. I'm a foreigner, expat, immigrant, whatever you want to call me. And I, for now, still live in South Korea and like to talk about it on the internet, but not for long. Let's talk about that. I wasn't fully planning on making this video just yet because I feel like I still haven't maybe 100% processed everything that's happening, which is weird because you go back and watch video, like I think I called it like changes in the air or something like that. Like I have been thinking about leaving Korea for some time now, probably for the last 6 months. It's been kind of in the back of my mind. I've been thinking about this for a while, so it's not a surprise to me, but I'm sure it's probably a surprise to some of you out there, especially if you're not following me on TikTok. I have been posting about the fact that I'm leaving on some of my other channels, but I haven't had the time to really sit and think about it, like I said, and I sort of feel like this is the place where I have deeper conversations sometimes, so that's what we're here to do today. I don't think it will be a very long video, to be completely honest with you, because there's really not much to my decision. Not to say that it's a shallow one, but just to say that it is kind of an easy one for me. And I think to explain why I'm leaving, we have to go back to the beginning of the story and talk about why I'm even here in the first place. I think I've touched on it before, but essentially, like, I was living in Toronto, I was 25, and life was coming at me so fast. I knew that if I stayed in Toronto in another year or two, wow, you can tell I've been gone for a while because I'm calling it Toronto. I'm pronouncing all the T's. I knew that if I stayed in Toronto for another year or two, I would probably be like very firmly in my career growth. I would probably have a partner. We might be living together. Maybe we have a dog. Like, I was on this sort of track, and that's great for some people. I love that for some people. I have plenty of friends, obviously, that still live in the city that are doing just that. For me, I was like, I'm not ready for that yet. I don't want that yet. I want to go do something else. And it's interesting that actually right before I left, I was having a conversation with a family member, and she asked me what I was running away from. I'm not gonna cry. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, she asked me what I was running away from, and I, confident and cocky, was like, I'm not running away from anything, I'm running to something, which is what you do when you're 25. But I think after living here for a while, I realized that that is exactly what I was running away from. Like, this sense, this commitment to the city, to the job, to the whoever I was dating. I wasn't dating anyone at the time, but I could just see it was gonna happen. So I guess I have a fear of commitment. We'll have to unpack that another time. But I very much felt like at that time I was running towards something, and I was running towards Korea and living abroad and exploring and like learning a new language and meeting new people, like-minded people, and, you know, having a cool job. And then I got here and I did all those things. I met incredible, amazing people. Okay, I didn't do all those things because I still can't speak Korean well. I got a really cool job. I actually had several cool jobs. So I did all those things, and then again, they started to sink in. I got really comfortable. I could see positive career growth. I had, you know, a network of friends, and I mean, maybe not so much like the relationship part of that, but I think I honestly haven't been trying to date anybody or really make any new friends or really progress my career in the last 6 months because I realized it was all happening again. It's not that I don't want it to happen here, but again, I'm just not ready for that. Like, I'm not ready to settle down. I feel like there is so much more for me to explore in the world and so much more for me to learn about myself, and that's why I'm leaving. Truly and honestly, that is why I'm leaving. I know everybody wants there to be some juicy gossip about like what's going down and like, oh, is there like I don't know. I'm literally the most drama-free person, which is why I can't even come up with fake drama for me leaving to be about. But really, my visa expires in September, and I just thought, you know what? The universe is telling me that this is a good time to go explore something else. So that's what I'm doing. And I hope that you guys will come along on this ride with me. It's going to be really exciting. I can tell you in the next 9 months, I will take you with me to Toronto, to Montreal, to New York, to Spain, in Malaga and Madrid to visit my friends. And then hopefully this time next year, if everything pans out the way that I want it to, I will be living abroad again, and I'll actually be in Europe, in France is the goal. So if that sounds cool and exciting, which I hope it does, I hope you'll come along with me for another chapter, another journey abroad, because ultimately that is another huge piece of why I moved in the first place. And I think I've spoken about this on the channel too, but I have a goal of living on every continent in my lifetime. And it's not an easy thing to achieve because I'm very specific about what I consider living in a continent. Like, for example, I mentioned I'm going to be going to Spain basically to hang out with my parents, but I'm not counting that as living in Europe because I'm only there for a couple of months. I don't have my own place, I don't have my job. That doesn't, living on a continent in my mind is fully, you know, immersing yourself in the culture and being a resident and having a job, paying taxes, doing all this stuff for a matter of years. And so I've done that now in North America. Obviously I was born there. I've done it in Oceania because I lived in Australia for a few years before this channel. And now, of course, Asia's off the list as well. We're making this special, except I'm not going to the Antarctic, okay? That one we're crossing off the list, but everything else is still up for grabs. And the next one that's like really drawing my attention and what I feel like a pull towards is Europe. Because in the past couple of years, like a lot of my friends have moved there. I have friends in England, I have friends in Spain, I have friends in Portugal. Like, I had a friend in Germany, she is now the one in Portugal. So I feel like this kind of pull to be there and to explore that and learn who I am in that space. This is getting really weirdly like deep, but I really do feel like there's so much more to know about myself and so many more ways that I think I can grow. And personally, I feel like that growth happens when I'm put in uncomfortable situations. So I don't know why, because I find them so stressful. I am the most anxious bitch in the world, okay? So the fact that I continue to put myself like far away from my safety net and like into these uncomfortable situations, into these places I don't speak the language, like, I don't know why I do that, but I enjoy this sick thing I do to myself because I know that it makes me a better person. I know that it makes me more compassionate, that it makes me more empathetic, that it makes me more adventurous, more outgoing. It makes me more intelligent because I gain new perspectives about the world through the eyes of another culture. So I absolutely love living abroad, and I don't think that I'm done yet. I'm definitely not done yet because I have not hit the goal of all 7 continents. But the next one is Europe. I will be there no matter what next year because there are several avenues. As a member of the Commonwealth, there are several avenues that I can take to end up as a resident of a country on the continent of Europe, not necessarily a part of the EU, but what I really want to do is live in France. And so I'm really working hard to study for the entrance exam to business school, and my goal is to get my MBA or Master's of Business Administration somewhere in France. I have a few schools on my list, but I don't want to tell you where they are because some of them are extremely competitive, and if I don't get in, I don't want to embarrass myself on the internet by not getting in. The Coles Notes of this entire video is essentially that I have loved my time in Korea. I have learned a lot about myself here, but I feel like I've learned enough to move to my next destination, and I was always planning on moving again. I always had in my brain, like, you know, around 5 years, that would be the max that I'd stay, and this is 3.5, so I've almost made it all that time. Made it sounds like it was difficult, but you know what I mean. I've almost fulfilled that 5-year timestamp. I'm not even gonna call it a goal because that's weird. But now I'm ready to move to a new part of the world and explore who I am there and learn more about myself there and learn more about another culture's perspective on life and stuff. I don't know. I know a lot of you followed me specifically for my content in Korea, and so I just hope that you will stick around to explore the rest of the world with me. I feel really passionately about this and I really do want to share it with you guys if you're willing to receive it. But yeah, until then, there will still be lots of Korea content because I am staying in Asia until, I feel like Dolly Parton. Have you seen that video where she plays her nails? Anyways, I'm popping around Asia until the beginning of October. So I'm gonna be going to Japan, I'm gonna be going to Singapore, so I'll put all of that on the channel as well, and then stopping over in Korea in between just to sort of tie up any loose ends. So there will be some more Korea content probably until the end of October, but after that it will be very North America heavy, and then this time next year, very European. So I hope you'll stick around. I've loved having you here. I hope you've enjoyed it too. So I just can't wait to share more of my life with you and more exciting adventures around the world. So thanks, guys.